All right. Yay, here I am. So we are going to give it just a few more minutes, allow other people to show up. We're running on pagan standard time, so pagans, as a traditional rule, are late. That's a broad generalization, folks.
Sounds like Indian time. The right time is when I get there.
Wonderful.
All right. Yay! Thank you, Brian.
You did, but I'll put another on.
Pegatha, I'm going to go ahead and prompt you.
I acknowledge the direction east, an element of air. I choose to know this.
Try it again.
Oh,
Yep.
sounded loud to me. I acknowledge the direction east, an element of air. I choose to know this circle is created with and inspired by the wings of mind, intellect, new beginnings, and communication.
I acknowledge the direction of south and the element of fire. I choose to know this circle is blessed with the flames of passion, transformation, courage, and action.
Hail to the guardians and the watchtowers of the West, the direction of endings, acceptance, and release. I acknowledge the direction of West with the element of water. I choose to remember the fluidity of emotions, intuition, and healing in this circle.
I acknowledge the direction of north and its element earth. I choose to look at our 400-year-old oak tree and know grounding, ancient wisdom, and nature are included in this circle.
I acknowledge the center of this circle, the center of who we are, and all of life and energy, unity, community, home, heart. So I acknowledge Yule. Hail and welcome. So, this is the interactive portion of the evening. What caused you to come out on this dark evening to an event called Yule Love?
I know. Love is good. Love is good, yes. Love is good. Yule is good.
Yule is good. Love is good. I'm just going to repeat you rather than try to make that mic work.
We're coming up on the time where the light will be returning, and that's a really hopeful time.
Yeah. Yeah, so Vivian said, we're coming up on the time where the light is returning, and that's a hopeful time. That is one of the last, I want to say 20 days of the year, before the solstice. I start watching how dark it's getting and how early it's getting, and it just makes me want to stay in and snuggle up. And then right at the solstice, I'm like, tomorrow it gets lighter. So what do you know of Yule?
It's an ancient festival.
Pardon?
It's very ancient.
Yes.
It goes back in honoring the seasons. and
It's honoring the seasons and the cycles, yeah. It's ancient.
Already brought up at the end of the dark and the light
Absolutely.
returns.
Absolutely. So it's the ending of the dark and the beginning of the light returning.
Do we get the Yule log cake?
I did not bring Yule log cake, nor did I bring an actual Yule log to light on fire, but we have lots of fire here and here and here.
But yeah, it's the log is what I think of. And I don't know if it's very prominent in Germany when they bring in more logs.
Yeah. So the Yule log cake, the Yule log, and it is. I mean, Yule is a Germanic. Thank you. I left an M out. Tradition. Norse and Germanic. Tradition. Yeah. Come on.
We've really just come out of, the darkness.
Yeah.
We really are coming out of the darkness.
Yeah.
The holiday previous to this was our last harvest celebration.
Yep.
And when we were all just coming within and really self-reflecting and healing ourselves and being in a place of quiet
Yeah.
before this.
So the last festival of the pagan year was the last harvest festival of the year. And it was a time of introspection and I tend to think all pagan holidays are about our roots and growing from them. But truly, Samhain is about the veil being thin between the dimensions and our loved ones being with us. Yeah. It's Yule is a festival of lights. That is what it is. I'm going to sit down now. So there's wisdom in the Yule traditions. And tonight we'll talk about why we still need these traditions, why we need to remind ourselves of the light. Because even though we don't live in ancient times when winter was actually precarious, and survival may have been in question, you needed traditions like Yule to remind you and give you hope. I was telling Vivian that I've participated in a lot of Yule ceremonies over the years, and found some great stuff when I was doing my research. So tonight we begin celebrating Yule a little bit early because technically it doesn't start until Sunday, the 21st. But Yule is not a single day. It's the season. It's where people came together with bonfires and evergreens and food and drink. The winter solstice, as we've already said, marks the darkest night of the year. Yule originally centered around Norse and Germanic traditions and held activities to ignite memories of and hope for the sun's return. I believe in sympathetic magic, which is a lot of what this is. It's about reminding ourselves that there's always hope, that there's always going to be something new, and spring will come. We needed that. The Christmas tree, y'all probably can't see, there's a Christmas tree over there, is the tree is closest associated with Christmas. It's not just green, but evergreen when everything else is dead or dying. The Christmas tree promises rebirth. And it's a prayer for new life that is at the heart of this midwinter festival, calling us to remember that spring and green will come again. Holly and mistletoe were also part of the season. Holly, with its sharp edges, it's also an evergreen, but it also had the red berries. It does have red berries, and that symbolizes life force surviving the cold. So the cold being the pointy edges, right? And still, it's growing and thriving. While mistletoe was actually for new beginnings and the powers of healing. I don't know how we got to kissing underneath it, but probably because it's also fertility. That's right. It's also fertility, and that's the reason we kiss under it. So this is one of my favorite things. The wassailing was drinking to someone's good health. And it wasn't just in bars and pubs. It was a communal activity. If it's not where visiting neighbors and singing carols came from, they certainly went hand in hand, right? It included not just visiting neighbors, but sometimes the community apple orchards, to toast the trees to ensure a fruitful harvest next year. Then there's the sacred feasts. And in this community and in a lot of communities, this is where we thrive, right? We like food. I like food. And coming together this time of year was the time to celebrate fertility and beginning again. The focus on warm, rich foods, the spiciness of the wassail or the mulled wine, the roasted meats. It was designed to fill the body and with warmth and energy. And based on the principle of like produces like, which we know a little bit about, if food and drink were plentiful in this auspicious occasion, then it would be again and into the next year. Yule is a celebration of light, and its light is certainly the central theme of Yule. It moves beyond mere decoration. It represents cosmic hope and survival at this turning point in the calendar, and the solar calendar. Candles, lights on the trees, and the Yule log were there to remind us that light is returning. And I've mentioned this. Why celebrate Yule? Because in ancient times, because even now, like winter and darkness this time of year kind of feels harsh, cruel, and never ending. But before we had indoor lights and heats and the comfort of the lives that we live now, winter was not just dark, but challenging conditions made survival an actual concern. And yet winter and darkness are crucial, I can say that word, crucial for the life cycle. The earth is not dormant this time of year, it's just getting started. Plants use it to store energy and prepare for spring growth. Animals hibernate and adapt rhythms for survival. But I did not know this. Freezing and thawing cycles this time of year and through the winter actually cause organic matter to break down. And it helps the soil get ready for next year, for the planting and growing cycles. So while we are less likely to freeze to death these days, it doesn't mean that the practices of recentering, regrouping our energy, and remembering what's important to us is still not valuable. It absolutely is. I suggest that we too need light to diminish. We need our own versions of winter darkness, real or imagined. This time of year, our bodies, our natural rhythms are saying, it's time to go within, to nurture ourselves, store energy, and get ready for planting. We do this by listening, deep, honest listening, making time for ourselves, making time for our breakdowns and breakthroughs of so much more than organic matter, and allow our becomings. Our busy world, our busy culture would call us to ignore that shit and stay busy and focused. And if you're not busy and focused, then you reach for distractions that make you feel like you are. We need darkness. I believe that when we listen and go within on a regular basis, we actually have less of the imagined darkness in our lives. We do this by lessening the resistance of the experiences of darknesses. I don't know about you, but I push back on anxiety. I push back on the depression. I push back on feeling bad. We need to remember the light we are and make ourselves a priority. It does not mean it's not still cold and dark out there. But with some practice, we can start to remember and trust it will be temporary, whatever the darkness may look like, and spring will come again. It could be that these ancient traditions were actually onto something. Yule was not just a fun party. Every element of Yule was designed to send a positive, life-affirming signal to the brain. I would say that's what we need right about now. So as we approach midwinter, how will you remind yourself of the light and give yourself hope for new beginnings?
Just conscientiously slowing myself down. I'm all caught up in the hubbub of things that are my responsibilities and my obligations and expectations that are set on me. And that it's really healing and healthy for me to recognize that I need to really spend time with myself and not be giving so much of my time to others,
Yeah.
so that I can regenerate and be prepared to move forward.
Well said, well said. And so I'm going to repeat that for the people on live stream to the best of my ability. I may paraphrase. Just to slow down, to conscientiously slow down and take time to nurture despite the expectations and the responsibilities that are so calling upon us. Did I capture it? Good.
I think it's important for all of these festivals, for one, that there is that cycle of life, and that, I guess, what was in the Bible, yet he must die to be born again.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of ways to look at that, of course. But the idea is, I think, right here, is Yule is the dying to become born again.
Absolutely.
So it's a time to recognize
No, it's not.
that whatever the dark sides were, there's always the light is coming.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so what Tim was saying was that that there's the Bible quote that references that you must die in order to live again, and that's this time of year. That is where we are in the season. That we must remember that we get to die, to be born again. Absolutely. Did I capture your? Good. Breezy?
Well, like he was saying from the quote, die to be born again. If you think about the plant life,
Mm-hmm.
their roots are not dead. Only what you see on the surface is dead.
Yeah.
So it's not really dead. It's hibernation, maybe? Would that be a right word for it?
There's so much happening under the soil, right? Yeah. So
It's working on itself.
Absolutely, yeah.
During that time of year, because it doesn't have to send its nutrients up to the
Absolutely,
top.
yeah.
So it's working on itself. And it's the time of year for us to do that, whether we're working on stuff for other people, because it was a time of year where people did a lot of handwork and stuff in front of the fire.
Yeah.
That was a very prominent thing, just because there was no light outside to do outside stuff, so.
Yeah. Yeah. So Breezy was.
Can you kind of repeat some of that?
I am. That's what I'm doing. Breezy was saying that even though the plant looks like it's dead, it is not. It's actually more alive, and it's the stored energy that allows it to actually work on itself. And would you say that's where you are in your world?
Well, that's kind of where we all are.
Yeah. Yeah. That's kind of where we all are.
This time of year,
It is. It is. I mean, it's. I don't know about you, but I find it hard to leave the house after I've gotten home because it's all nice and snuggly in there.
Well, for me, I get most of my work done when it's dark outside, so I'm very productive in the winter.
Oh, excellent. Okay. Yes, you are that late night person.
Yeah.
The
And
one late night person I know that's in the room.
I tend to work until dawn starts coming up, and then I go to bed.
Yeah. Yeah, so Breezy's always been that late night person too. And so she's very productive in the winter, in the dark months, which is a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing.
Kind of like nature, because I have seasonal affective disorder.
Yeah.
So when it starts to get dark, I start shutting down.
Yeah.
And yet in the spring and the summer, I'm up and active,
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah. So seasonal affective disorder is one of those things. I'm glad you brought that up, is because it really is. I mean, it's a real thing. I watched it happen with a loved one that I'm like, ugh. I mean, and like being able to leave the house after dark. Yeah, I joke about that, and it's true. I just like being home and comfortable. But when you have seasonal affective disorder, I mean, there's a depression that happens in that time, and it's part of it is putting yourself out there, getting enough vitamin D, and being active during the daylight, and choosing to be nice and comfortable at home at night, for the most part. Yeah. Jeff.
Yes, very unlike Breezy, in the wintertime, I'm called to rest.
Yes.
I do a lot in the other seasons, and I think that I just feel that's the energy I feel. I think I sleep better sometimes in the wintertime than I do in other months.
Yeah.
And I'm just rest.
Yeah, Jeff is saying that he is called to rest this time of year, less productive, and truly just a matter of sleeping better and being more nurtured by life. Yeah, excellent.
Spring will be here soon enough.
Absolutely, yes, spring will be here soon enough. No need to rush it. That it's okay to take time for ourselves.
In its own divine timing.
Absolutely. Any other thoughts?
Physically, I enjoy a fire more in the winter.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times in the fire in the summer is out of necessity. You have
Yeah.
to cook and you have to cure and dry and stuff. In the winter time, there's a whole different feeling.
Yeah.
Except when it's pouring down rain outside. Doesn't work with an umbrella, but I do enjoy an outdoor fire. And I don't know where that Yule log tradition came in of saving the tree from the previous year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I strip it down and I get rid of all that, but then I keep the stalk. Okay.
So it's a matter of burning it and then saving the ashes are part of the log to light for next year, because that is the essence of richness and fullness of fertility and new growth and happy harvest kind of thing. Yeah.
Does it have anything to do with continuity?
And continuity, I'm sure. Yes, I mean and this being the festival of light, this is the time of year that you would burn the Yule log, and you would burn it slowly, so it would last a long time.
You know what's interesting is this idea of the Festival of Lights, which is what Hanukkah is called, the Festival of Lights. And Christmas also is a Festival of Lights. And Christmas actually was borrowed from paganism.
Yes. Yes.
The timing.
I wasn't going to make that reference, but yes.
Both of these things, or all three of these, Hanukkah, Yule, and Christmas, all take place during this time.
Well, and even Kwanzaa, right? I mean,
Yes.
even Kwanzaa. So Susie was talking about that the other holidays that are this time of year also celebrate the light, and about owning the light and hope, absolutely, and owning the light that we have, and that it's very much in the tradition of paganism. Is about sharing it.
And there was a Swedish festival of lights just a couple of days ago. Where they, Lucia, thank you, where they have the candles.
Yes.
Their crown.
Yeah.
And another representation of the lights.
It's beautiful.
Beautiful.
Santa Lucia
Swedish or Danish?
Swedish tradition, and the Festival of Lights as well. Yeah. Excellent. Tagatha.
I tend to sometimes have to watch myself because I get depressed because it gets dark so early. And I'm like, my day is already done. However, I really love all the seasons, and I love winter because I get to see the trees without the leaves, and their magnificent shapes and spreading out in different ways and things, because you can't see that when they're covered in leaves.
Absolutely.
And so they're beautiful in two different ways.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
And in spring, it seems to me that you start to look at the trees and they have these like reddish things on them, and you're like, is that dead leaves? Is that a dead tree? And then the next day it's green. I'm like, I wish I could sit there and just watch it.
Yeah.
Because it seems like it
Yeah,
happens.
you want a slow action camera to look at it? Yeah. It's, so Pegatha was saying that, that even though she sometimes gets depressed because it gets darker earlier, and she often feels, I don't know about you, but I have to convince myself to not go to bed at 7 p.m. But that you really love the seasons, and seeing the trees in a different light without the leaves. You actually can see and feel more of the tree, that it is opposed to what it looks like when it's blooming and in the spring. Yeah. So I'd like to lead us in a brief meditation. So if you will, get comfortable, put your feet on the floor or however you are comfortable. Close your eyes if that's comfortable for you. And while I'm taking you through this meditation, I ask you to recognize and feel into any sense of discomfort or pushback with what I say. And to the best of your ability, still let the words ring true. So just take a couple of deep breaths. Let your breath center you, bring you fully into the chair you're sitting in, the room you're sitting in. Focus on your scalp. Breathe into the skin that is your scalp and encourage it to relax. Acknowledge your ears and your jaw and your forehead. And ask it to relax. Breathe into your shoulder muscles and your neck. And as you breathe, know that you get to relax. Your elbows and your hands, the tension just floats away. Your spine, your stomach muscles. Just breathe into that space. And know there is relaxation, and you get to experience it right now. Your hips and your buttocks, Breathe into that space, allowing the release of any stress. And your legs and your knees and your ankles. Give great thanks for them and allow them to relax. And your feet, your toes, all the phalanges and muscles and tendons, all relaxed. Imagine a bright, brilliant light that's right in front of you. Feel the heat and warmth that's coming from it. It's almost too bright to look at. If you could reach out, you could touch it. Be curious about this ball of energy that's right in front of you. What does it feel like? Is it familiar to you? Does it have a smell or a taste? Reach out and wrap your arms around it in a big hug. Is it too big for your arms to actually reach all the way around? What do you notice? How do you feel? Let this light sink into, merge with your heart. Let it light you up from the inside. Feel this energy permeate and penetrate every cell of your body. Now this light is you. There is no delineation. No you, all light. Shining from your fingertips. And your skin is glowing. Your hair is radiant. As is your nose and toes. Play with this for a moment. Dance in this feeling. Remember it at a cellular level. There is darkness and cold outside. And you get to remember and bask in the light that you are. No darkness or discomfort is ever permanent. From this place of light and warmth, take a few moments to consider what is yours to cultivate and nurture in your life this season. Remember your light. Remember you are light. Remember your life is a beacon of the light you are. Now, if you will, come back to your breath. Breathe in light, breathe out light. As you breathe, feel the chair beneath you. Wiggle your fingers and toes. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. So what was your experience like?
Definitely being quiet. I wanted to snuggle and get under the covers. Yeah, but I felt warm at the same time, with
Yeah.
the light in particular, that it wasn't as cold even though it seemed like it at first. So I like that. Not exactly a transition, but it did change.
Yeah, yeah. So, Erin, sorry, I almost called you Elizabeth. It was saying that initially cold and wanting to snuggle under the covers, but that there was a transition, there was a change in the warmth of the light.
moments before you would take us to the next step, I was already there.
Mm-hmm.
It was very connected.
Yeah, Vivian was saying that moments before I would take you to the next step, she was already there. Actually, that was it felt like the next logical step. The next logical step. Yeah. Good. Was it a good experience for you? Good.
We'll have some release later.
Nice. Susie?
So when the light was in front of us and it was like this ball of light, and you said to put arms around it, as I went to put my arms around it, it became a heart. And my arms went through it, and I realized that we had already merged,
Ah,
and
excellent.
that the heat and the light was within me and all around me.
Excellent, excellent. Susie was saying that,
And then you said,
Yeah.
bring it into your heart. And I was-
yeah, so next logical step, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So Susie was saying that when I was asking people to wrap their arms around it, it automatically formed a heart, and her arms went through it, and as it merged into her already before I even got to that step. Yeah, lovely.
I was getting into it and enjoying it, and then I was like, where am I? What am I doing? And then you started to say, embrace the light, and so I pictured that, and I, before you said, I saw it coming out my fingers, shining, and it reminded me of one of my favorite prayers from the Adorations book, and so I really enjoyed being the light and seeing the light shine from all of my pores and my fingertips and, and my eyes and everything, because I'm really beginning to understand that we are light, we are love, and that's our true nature.
Yeah.
And so I really liked that.
I happen to love the fact that you were smiling the entire time.
Yes, I was.
So Pegatha was saying that that it was that it was that experience of I've lost it.
Embracing the light.
Embracing the light and enjoying the experience of it coming out of her fingers and being who she is as she remembers a prayer that she loves and that she's just now coming to grips and living into the fact that we are light and we are love. Did I capture it?
Yeah.
Without the first part? Yes, Jeff.
I kind of perceived or sensed the light of maybe ancestors that came before me, like my mother, and even felt connected to those who will come after me.
Excellent.
Kind of like a oneness.
That's lovely. Yeah. So Jeff is saying that he actually felt like his ancestors were there, and there was a connection to past and future beings that are coming after us. Lovely.
When I became the light in alignment with what Jeff says about the oneness, I then found that as the light, I was then positioned in front of someone else to be that light for them to embrace and to internalize and become, because we are all one.
Absolutely. So Vivian was saying that to Jeff's comment about oneness, that as she became the light, she was then positioned in front of someone else to be the light for them, because that's what we do. Yeah. So Yule was created out of necessity to remind our ancestors that light was going to return, giving them hope and strength to move through. And while our lives are not as perilous, they can still be full of experiences of shadows and coldness. We all already have tools and practices that we can pull out for just such an occasion, just like the traditions of Yule. We just need to remember to reach for them. That's one of the keys, right? Because we have these tools. They're no good if we don't use them. And we get to remember that we need the darkness. It can be extremely hard in the middle of it. But I believe one of our main jobs in life is simply be as gentle with yourself and others as you can possibly be in the moment. And then be gentle with yourself and others when you're not so gentle with yourself and others. Remember that darkness really is a good thing. It is compost for future crops. So I'm going to do an affirmative prayer. And I'm going to pause what we call spiritual mind treatment. And I'm going to pause to allow you to put your prayer in. That thing that you got from the meditation. What is yours to nurture and cultivate this season? You don't have to share if you don't want to, but there will be space for you to do so. In this moment, truly in every moment, there is one life, one energy, one light, supporting and sustaining all life. This is who and what we are. I am a light being. I came from the light. I return to the light. And light is the gift I share with the world. This is who we are. The energy and oneness of all life in this breath. And I know this Yule season, there is darkness. It may be cold. But we are all called to cultivate and nurture ourselves and nurture one or two things. What do you choose to cultivate?
Well-being.
And just like the soil, just like the plants, storing energy, regrouping, getting ready for spring. This season of Yule is active just beneath the surface in all our lives. We are the light. And we bring the fullness of this light into everything that we do. We are reminded regularly. We stand in this light as we breathe light into the world. This goodness, this joyous energy is here and clear. And I simply let this go. For words spoken and not, we are all nourished by this experience. And life only and always says yes, so it is already so. And so it is. So this event is shared by a love offering. There's a basket out there in the sign-up table. Please consider supporting this center and continuing to do events like this one and others that do things a little differently sometimes. I'd like to thank Brian for running the sound and the live stream. And I'd like to thank Reverend Dr. Susie Shadle for her support in this and making her class attend. And while I do not have wassail, there is hot cider in the social hall. So please join me if you care to.
And don't forget to sign in.
Oh, and yes, and please sign in. Thank you.
Thank you. I invite my class to quickly grab some cider and head upstairs because we have more class to do. The hibernation is over.